Hey there, Wondering Watchers. Welcome to this tarot card reading made for watchers of true crime and intended for a mature audience. This tarot reading explores the connection between the deaths of several people whose bodies have been recovered from Lady Bird Lake near a popular string of bars and eateries on Rainey Street in Austin, Texas. Between mid-February and mid-April of this year alone, the bodies of 4 men have been found in Lady Bird Lake. Cliff Axtell, age 40, John Hayes Clark, age 30, Jonathan Honey, age 33, and Jason John, age 30, were all found in the lake. And it's reported that in the last 10 months, 4 other bodies were also discovered there. Although residents fear a serial killer is at large, Austin police say there is no evidence of trauma to the bodies or evidence of foul play, and they instead suspect the deaths are due to a combination of alcohol and easy access points to the lake, which is about a 35-minute walk to or from Rainey Street. This reading examines the commonalities between these men and looks at whether their deaths are due to mishaps or if there really is a Rainey Street Ripper out there. So first of all, I'm going to use the Revolving Time Oracle to ask questions about the people whose bodies were retrieved from Lady Bird Lake this past year. So let's take a look at whether any of these deaths were the result of an accident. So here it says yes. We have this card of control. Interestingly, this is equivalent to the King of Cups, and the element is water. So for accidental deaths, it could be maybe they were intoxicated, it was late at night, but we'll do some tarot cards to look into that further. So let's see if any of these deaths were the result of suicide. We have this action card. It says no. This is equivalent to the Knight of Swords. So let's take a look at whether any of these deaths were caused by another person. It says yes, and empathy on here. This is equivalent to the Page of Cups, so another water element. So let's take a look at whether any of these people were killed, let's see, intentionally murdered. We have yes. The card says awakening. It is equivalent to the, I believe, the Judgment card. So let's ask whether these deaths were due to a serial killer in Austin, Texas. Here we have this intuition card. It says yes, another water element card here. And it says time is hidden. So this is equivalent to the High Priestess in tarot, which indicates secrets, things that are hidden. So let's go ahead, and it seems like none of these deaths were intentional in terms of like death by suicide, but it does indicate there may have been accidental deaths and intentional deaths, and the result of a serial killer. So let's take a look at the let's look at the people who were intentionally killed. So for the people retrieved from Lady Bird Lake that were killed, let's take a look at the qualities and characteristics these men shared. You have the 8 of Swords here. So they shared a sense of either having feeling like they were restricted, or they were actually restricted. Like I said, the police did not find any trauma to the bodies. of the people who were recovered, at least the 4 men who were recovered in the past few months. I'm going to clarify this Eight of Swords to see, it could be like their mind was limited or like narrowed or confined, maybe due to alcohol. So let's take a look at this Eight of Swords. Well, we have the Hanged Man. So another card of being confined, restricted, suspended. So it seems like, the qualities or characteristics that they shared was either easily being like trapped. Perhaps they just weren't perceiving things the way they should. They may be unaware of what was going on in their environment. Let's see what else we have here. We have the Knight of Cups, and you can see this individual is like gazing into this cup. It kind of indicates almost being tempted, like fantasy, illusion. It also could be alcohol. So let's see about this Knight of Cups. We have the Four of Pentacles. So it almost is with this Four of Pentacles, it's a sense of like security and being grounded and kind of making sure that you're safe and secure. So it could be that these men were, drinking, or maybe they were under some type of illusion where they were safe. Let's see what else we have for the characteristics of these men. We have here the Sun. So it could be that there's like a sense of innocence to them. You can see these children playing under the water here. So like a sense of innocence and happiness. Let's see what other characteristics or commonalities these men shared. We have the Nine of Pentacles. So they felt like confident about themselves. Like they felt that they were in a good place, maybe, independent or becoming independent, and just having, doing things on their own, living their own life in a way. So let's find out about why these men were killed. Move these up here. We have the Two of Wands. So it looks like they were killed because they kind of went outside of their comfort zone. Let's see how. We got the Two of Swords here. So it could be that they got in a fight, or I'm more trying to find out what drew the killer's attention to them. So it seems like the killer was aware that they were maybe alone and kind of looking out for someone or something, and the killer kind of took the opportunity to kind of get in their face and maybe just even have a conversation with them. Let's look at this even more. We have the Ace of Cups. Maybe bought them a drink. But it seems like there is a sense of, what is it? Kind of like duality going on here. I don't know the sexual orientation of any of these men. Perhaps they were kind of flirting with someone of the same gender. You've got two men kind of getting up in each other's faces and kind of doing a back and forth mental play. And with the Two of Wands here, kind of stepping outside of a comfort zone and possibly drinking with this Ace of Cups to kind of let their guard down. So let's take a look at how the killer gained control over these men. It could be with the Ace of Cups. We have Temperance. So Temperance is about mixing things together, mixing and blending. In a different deck that I have, the Temperance card actually is like a bartender. There is actually, one of the theories is that maybe a bartender spiked these people's drinks, like roofied them. So let's find out more about this Temperance card kind of gaining control over these men. We have more cups. We have 10 cups. And the 10 cups on the bridge are kind of almost reminding me like when you go into some bars and you see all the alcohol lined up. But it could be also just somebody just to listen about, day-to-day life of these men. The 10 of Cups isn't necessarily about happy ever after. It can be, but it's more about finding someone to share all the range of emotions with, all those ups and downs of life. So let's see here. Let's see how else this killer gained control over the victims. We have the Justice card here. So interestingly, you've got this scale. There's a knife over here, and there's these scrolls over here. And the scrolls are, kind of weigh more than the knife. And it kind of indicates that knowledge weighs more than just, sheer power and brutality or force. But it could be, gaining control was kind of like it's like a cause and effect. And it does kind of indicate, these men were killed, it looks like because they were drinking, maybe drinking, dealing with their emotions and access to mixing something in with the drinks. And the effect is that pretty much they, got control. The person doing this had knowledge about what they were doing and the result of it. So let's take a look at why these people were killed. Like, what was the motive here? Strength. Basically trying to, maybe these people were physically bigger than the killer, and the killer wanted to be able to trap something that was big, and using their, not having sheer strength. And that's possibly why the knife here weighs less than the knowledge. It's like using their patience and their persuasion to take down this big beast. Not to say that the people who died were big or beasts, but it could be just like a show of strength. Let's see what else we have here. This 7 of Cups. So this is to me like a card of illusion and choices, and not necessarily knowing what they want for themselves. So it's like the killer is almost kind of knows that they want to prove their superior abilities, but doesn't necessarily have like dedication or heart to pursue something that they truly care about. It's almost as if like the paradox of choice is just to kind of, by default, kind of just like have other people fall under that same confusion or lack of understanding. And I'm going to clarify the 7 of Cups. This King of Swords came out. I think it's interesting when I use this deck for like killer stuff. I feel like the killer, this King of Swords, pops up a lot. It's supposed to be in this deck, Boreas, who is like King of the North, I think it's a Nordic king, and basically he was someone who like demanded power and attention and killed someone who didn't choose him over another suitor, and like kidnapped and abused a young girl because he wanted to make the girl his. So just using power and force, but really it's a sense of, with the 7 of Cups, they don't have that actual strength to make it happen, and they don't really know exactly the best way to like kind of live their own life. So they just create like illusions and games and play games with certain people and kind of almost outsmart them. But the thing is, like, the victims don't know they're playing this game. So let's see what evidence exists that would link the killer to the death of these men. We have here the Empress. So this is a card of creation, fertility, and it kind of is a sense of, I mean, you can say, like maternal aspects. I'm going to clarify this Empress card. I was going to say, maternal, like DNA on the mother's side, but I don't know how you would get necessarily DNA from, almost like maybe if there is like if they have done the blood work to see if there's it all comes from like the same batch of whatever. I don't even know if they were just drugged with a certain drug, maybe kind of like seeing if they kind of are from the same family of drugs. And this one to pop out. We have here the Two of Pentacles. And this is kind of, like a juggling act, drama going on. So in terms of certain evidence, it could be that there is not even just drama, just like a concept of give and take. Maybe take a look at all the places these people were at during the evening. They can track down their last transactions and possibly, there is, take either a look at like credit card transactions, see if the same credit card kind of pops up in that same time period, or maybe even the like footage, seeing people who come in and out of an establishment. It's like a back and forth. Let's see what else we have here. We have here the Nine of Wands. So in terms of evidence that exists, it's almost a sense of looking if there is like video evidence, seeing who kind of was there for a long period of time. Some of the eateries on Rainey Street are like food trucks, and there's not really video. I don't know if there's video surveillance set up around these food trucks. There's not surveillance around Lady Bird Lake for them to look at. But if they are able to kind of get any video evidence, maybe who was kind of waiting around and kind of been at a certain location for a long period of time. So let's take a look at where the police should focus their investigation to hopefully catch this this serial killer. We have here the Six of Wands. So perhaps because this, for the killer, they're really trying to show their strength. Maybe people who, after the men disappeared, became more like apparent or became more center of attention. I'm going to clarify this Six of Wands. We have King of Cups. So men who, it's almost like they should take a look at men as the potential killer here. And men who kind of drink for a long period of time but don't seem inebriated, and it could be because they aren't really drinking. Like almost the Six of Wands here, it's like you can see this person with this wand, this fire wand. It looks like they're about to, swallow fire or kiss the fire, and these people are looking on, but there's no actual interaction. Like the wand isn't touching this person's face. It's kind of seems like it might be, but it's not. So to me, it's like focusing their attention at people who maybe show up at the same places a lot, who spend their time at the bar, kind of seem emotionally stable or seem like they're should be drunk for how long they're there, but they aren't. I'm going to go ahead and get some more cards here. We have here the Knight of Wands. So with the King of Cups and the Knight of Wands, it's making me think that the killer is somewhat a little bit like older than the victims, and the victims are kind of like in their 30s, and there was one 40-year-old. So it may be like an older person here. And we have here the Seven of Wands. And in this deck, you can see this kind of scuba diver has found themselves in a location that it's almost like they stumbled into a party that was like the wrong like place. So it could be that they should kind of pursue either like people who look out of place, or like kind of keep to themselves and look out of place and wait till there's less people around to approach somebody. So let's go ahead. I'm going to pull one more card to see whether or not this serial killer will be caught, or whether they will even, if the police will acknowledge that there's a serial killer within like the next 6 months or so. It says no. We have this card of ego. This is equivalent to the Tower. It says time is moving unexpectedly and unavoidably. So within 6 months, the police will not acknowledge it. And let's see, within the next 6 months, will there be another body recovered from Lady Bird Lake? Another male body. Well, we have this card of karma, and it is equivalent to the Justice card, and it says neutral here. It does also say like Libra season, and Libra season is kind of late September, late October. Right now it is like late April. So we'll see what happens in late October, which is, 6 months from now. Maybe something after that. But this is what I have for you at this time. We'll see you next time. Until then, stay on your toes and take care.